Kerry, thank you so much for joining me this morning as you join us from your own lockdown. Should these businesses and brands that have stepped up during the coronavirus outbreak or lockdown, as it were, be applauded and showcased, or should this just be part and parcel of what they do as role players in South African society?
I think, well, first of all, yeah, they should. I think now everybody needs hope, and we reward good behavior by applauding. So I think that the more that we applaud businesses and brands that are doing the right thing, the more of that kind of behavior that we're going to encourage. Whether it should be something that they've always done, I think that is going to be the shift that we're going to see now with businesses and brands moving forward. But overall, I think we should just be patting everybody on the back and going, good job. We need it.
And are you seeing enough of that stepping out of just servicing people coming to their stores? Are we seeing enough of them stepping out and saying, where can I add more value? Where can I make this lockdown easier for ordinary South Africans, especially those who don't live in leafy suburbs?
Well, I think it's been quite difficult it's obviously much easier for businesses that have been, that are part of the essential services group, because then they can really kind of operate as business unusual in this environment. But for those businesses that are not part of that category, I think they really struggle to find their feet, and how that they can still be proactively and actively servicing the communities around them. I think that a lot of businesses and brands have also been quite paralyzed by fear during this moment. So I've seen in the first week there's just been a shutdown in communications where they haven't quite. And I saw a beautiful post the other day where a business came out and said, "Sorry, we've been so quiet. We didn't really know what to say or feel." And I thought, that's great. That's great. That's honesty. It's fine. I think we're in a very forgiving kind of stage of our coronavirus life here in South Africa. So I think it's okay. But what I am also seeing is that people are now have adjusted to the first week under lockdown, and now they're kind of are going, okay, this is the new normal. How are we going to continue? And are now reaching out to go, okay, how can I help? How can I pivot my business? How can I still be communicating with my customers? So I think the shock has kind of worn off, and now we're going to start seeing more.
How important is communication during this time? Because for many businesses, perhaps especially those outside of the essential category, there's communication internally. Everybody's worried about what happens in a few months' time. What's the economy going to do? Am I going to have a job? Then you also have to communicate with your consumer of whatever product it is that you're putting out there. How important is it to strike a balance between those two important spheres of communication?
I think right now there has to be almost like a 70-30 kind of sway towards internal communications. You need to be talking more to your staff right now as opposed to your customers. I think you need to be allaying their fears. You need to be keeping everybody on track. You need to be keeping everybody motivated. The rise in internal comms has never been more powerful. You've got people working remotely. How do you still keep the culture of your business? How do you still keep people on track with targets? And I think once you've got your workforce, like as per normal, as any normal campaign, once you've got your workforce geared up and ready and active and inspired and motivated, then it's very easy for that to trickle over into your customer base. So, I mean, I'm not saying I think that internal comms needs to be done quite quickly so that you can then reassure your customer base. So it's a bit of a cart before the horse. But yes, if your staff are in a frenzy, if your staff are depressed, if your staff are kind of wondering, if they're going to have a job in a month's time, that's where you need to focus first.
Before I let you go, Kerry, and you're an entrepreneur yourself, you're an independent PR and communication specialist, went out on your own not so long ago. How have you dealt with what this coronavirus crisis has brought to your space?
No, my timing was great, huh? But I think that, there is no shortage of work out there. And I think that's what every entrepreneur, every freelancer, everybody in the gig economy, there is no shortage of work out there. The trick right now is to be available. And I am available 24/7. I'm available in the evenings. I'm available for Saturday briefs. I'm available to do work on Sundays, because that is the new normal. This is the new normal that we're in. And yeah, I mean, guys, there's lots of work out there. Just use all your social platforms and deliver. I think that's the other thing, to have the discipline to deliver in this kind of environment, because this is not work from home. This is work from home in a global crisis, which is a completely different thing.
Kerry-Ann Stanton, PR and communication specialist, some very sobering insight there, but also some hope, I think, that we can't all go into a corner and wait for everything to pass. We need to get out there and get things done.